and marinate in a saucepan of Muse, and you'll have one of the tastiest supergroups of all time. The Jaded Heart Club's debut album, You've Always Been Here, is out today, so please welcome the man that's helped cook it all up. It's Miles Kane!
Hiya.
Thank you, Chris.
You all
Thank
right?
you. Good morning.
Good morning, good
Yes.
morning, good morning. What's going on? This is so cool.
I know, here we are, man. Here we are. What a pleasure to see you.
Tell us about the supergroup.
Yeah, well, it started a few years ago when I was living in Los Angeles, and we just started this for Jamie's 40th. One of the lads in the band, we put together this covers band, and it as for his little private party in this bar, and everyone just enjoyed it, and it grew, and over a few years, it became what it is today, really.
So who's in it, and musically, where would we usually know them from?
So you've got the drummer is Sean, and he was in a band called the Zootons.
Yeah.
Graham Coxon from Blair plays guitar.
Right.
Matt Bellamy on bass. I sing, and Nick from Jet sings, and Jamie, who is the sort of curator that knew everyone, that pulled everyone together, plays guitar as well.
All right, and the Jaded Hearts, who came up with the name?
I think that was Jamie as well. Jamie's like the mini Brian Epstein, but also in the band.
It's funny because it is a supergroup. It is a bona fide, absolutely qualified supergroup. But of course, supergroup is a bit of a sort of kitsch term, isn't it?
I know, it feels like it gets tarred, or it doesn't seem... not that he's trying to be cool, but it seems to sort of... I don't know if it hinders it slightly, but I guess it genuinely it is, you know.
No,
what I mean?
don't think it does hinder. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
But
It's like travelling in Wilburys.
Yeah, it could go either way, but it's like flat wallpaper. It's all right. I'm fine. I'm down with it. I'm cool with it.
Feature wall.
Yeah. So a feature wall.
Remember them?
Of course I do. What about Artex ceilings? Come on.
I can get down with both of them,
Yeah,
Chris.
I can get down with all this kind of stuff going on. So. When do you get together? How do you get together? Are people allowed to be called off the bench? Are they allowed to miss a game?
Yeah,
Is
I
it
guess
very football-y like
there's
that?
been a few different lineups over the years, and obviously, you know, we all live in different parts of the world now, so the lineup has interchanged a few times, and I've missed a few gigs, and vice versa. But when this lineup happened, we did a gig in the 100 Club last year,
yeah,
and that was when it sort of seemed to be. The boot seemed to fit, really,
yeah,
and that's where it stuck and
solidified.
It's solidified, yeah, exactly.
So obviously, because you are all living all over the world, and you come together now and again. What is the expectation as far as you know? Because bands, really amazing bands, are tight, and your bands are always tight. You're a very tight musician, you know. That doesn't mean you can't wander off. You can wander off and still be tight. But one of the joys is when you get a really tight outfit. And that's all about rehearsal, isn't it? That's all about...
Yeah, you're right. But Chris, you know, this band, the minute they plug in and they start playing, it's kind of like, it's ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The musicianship is at a level that is way above mine, so it makes you...
No, hang on a minute. Back the truck up.
No. Boop, boop, boop. No, seriously, when you look around and you see Matt on the bass and Graham on guitar and stuff, and it is quite phenomenal, really. It still hasn't really all sort of sunk in, really, even this record coming out and stuff. It's all a bit of a surreal project in a way.
Without getting too nerdy about it, right? Because I was mentioning a conversation that we had last year, again just now. You know, you were talking about the sophistication of songs, and we'd just seen two artists back to back, and we won't say who they are, but I loved them both, and I said Artist A, wow, and you went yeah. And you did that, yeah. And I said, Artist B, well, you went, no, different class, you know, it doesn't get any better. And I went, hang on a minute, Artist A, no, they're good. But he did it like that. And I said, what? And he said, well, they're not, the songs are quite simple, nothing wrong with a simple song, but, you know, for me, it's a bit too perfunctory. And so, for you to say almost similar about yourself, standing next to other musicians, I find that unbelievable. And I'm not buying that. You've got to be... You're up there with these guys.
Well, that's nice of you to say, but I don't know. I pinch myself. You know what I mean?
That's different.
Yeah.
Pinching yourself is different, but you can still be justified in being there.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm the greatest ever, Chris. I'm the greatest. No, I don't think that. I just when I look around, and I think it was like, especially growing up, I've looked up to all these people. I think, you know, I've like. I've mimed in the mirror in my mum's bedroom to Jet songs and Blair songs, you know what I mean? So I guess there's still a bit of that sort of thing in me.
Which is cool, but that is a different thing. See, I always forget, this is my bad here, I forget how young you are.
Well, I'm not. I'm 34 now, Chris.
Hang on a minute,
I'm getting
mate.
on.
I'm 2 decades older than you, right? And the guys that we're talking about are similar age to me, or maybe half a generation younger. And that's the thing, isn't it? That's the difference. But because you hold yourself so maturely, I always think you're the same age as me.
Well, thank you, Chris. Well, that means a lot.
I don't mean that in a wrong way.
No, I'll take that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, so the Jaded Hearts, there are various performances available on YouTube, and you weren't around for some of them. There was one particular one to Stella McCartney launch party. Have you seen that?
I know, that was the one I missed. I think that was...
If there's one to miss, it wasn't that one. You idiot.
I know.
Tell everybody what happened.
I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was over here, I think, working on a record or something. But no, I think they did the Stella McCartney party, and I think there was a rumour that Paul McCartney was going to be there.
Yep.
And he was there, and then he ended up jumping on stage with them, and it all got a bit wild by the footage.
Yeah. But you weren't on stage with Paul McCartney when he was singing I Saw Her Standing There with the Jaded Hearts.
No, I was probably sat on the sofa in East London.
Have you met him?
I did many years ago. I did when we went to one of his gigs. I think it was at the Albert Hall,
right.
And we a brief hello after his gig, and he was lovely though. Yeah.
What's the banter like with the boys in the band? Considering the experiences that they've had, because they have been the biggest bands. They've been in the biggest bands in the world, haven't they?
Yeah, it's like there is no egos in the band, and it's a lot of fun, and I think you can see that because there is no pressure, and there's been no thing to write songs or this has got to live up to this expectation or whatever it may be. It's just a genuine love of music and playing it together without any care of what it's got to be. In a sense, it's just like a nod to all those favourite songs that we've inspired us, really. That's the whole coming together of it.
What about the stories of their past experiences?
Oh yeah, between us the book would be incredible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
One of many.
Yeah, exactly. The anthology.
Oh, it'd be so cool.
Forget Star Wars, mate. The Jaded Hearts film would be a trilogy in itself.
But because they're quite different bands that the various members of Jaded Hearts are from, and so do they bring a sort of the character of each of their bands with them?
Everyone is their own character, and you could see that. There's like
does Graham Coxon bring a bit of blur to it too?
Yeah, it's like anything with like him, and I know Matt isn't a bass player; he's a guitarist and Muse, but sonically and the way they play, you can hear it. Anything with the riff on, they bring it, and it brings this like couldn't be more oomph in these tunes, and when they were recording it, I know they put a lot of time into it. They did it all in LA. I did my vocals here in London.
Right.
So when they sent these tracks over for me to sing, I couldn't really believe it, really.
And how
took me head off.
Yeah, I was going to say, so, you've done some great things in the past, and you'll do many great things in the future, because you have so much talent that can't not happen, hopefully, anyway. But when you were approaching these, was it different? Did it have a different feeling?
It was a different feeling. It was, I think this whole project is a different feeling. I think and the songs, there was a song on there called Love's Gone Bad, which is an old Northern Soul song, and I'm a big Northern Soul head. And I knew the song and stuff, and the recording of it is almost sounds like a demo, it's really, you can't even really hear the lyrics or the melody, it's that rough recorded. So like when coming to do that vocal, it was a lot harder than what I expected. That one I did struggle on a bit, really. But everything that I did all the vocals about 4 days for the 5 songs I sing, and they ended up sticking and they loved them. So it was pretty harmless, to be honest.
When I was a kid, you could still smell the whiff of Northern Soul for real. But because you're 20 years younger than me, you'd have had to get a time machine. How come you got into Northern Soul?
I think it was just from, getting into music like we talked about earlier, when I was, got into, obviously, Oasis indie scene, and I've always loved Motown has been my thing. I've always loved that, and that's come from my mum and growing up, family parties, Motown would always be playing. It was just a sort of, that's the go-to in our family if there's a gathering, and that's sort of, that's whether it's just you and your mum or a family thing or that, and that bled into me. If you come around to my house or having a few drinks, whatever, Motown's the go-to you know, you stick it on, you leave it on.
Go Town, Motown.
You know what I mean?
Love it.
So that's something that's been embedded in me, and from that I discovered the Northern Soul thing, and that I guess came also from getting into the mod scene. That influenced. They were influenced by the Northern Soul scene as well. So. It's just something. I think it's come from the Motown, but anything with like that drive and beat with the melancholic lyrics, but it makes you want to dance is what turns me on.
That's very Paul Heaton as well. It's funny because sorry, I don't mean to drop the name, but I've been talking about it a lot because we were talking to Rod Stewart yesterday. Same journey, but in period.
Really?
So Motown. So Sam Cooke, Motown, not Northern Soul, then mods, and then rockin'. And that was exactly the same journey, just like in the 60s.
Yeah.
And Motown often the bridge to Northern Soul for many, many people. Okay, so we're going to play Love's Gone Bad. Here we go, on the radio.
All right.
You ready for this?
Here we go.
I've got to tell you this, everyone. You've got to get this album. It's a joyous.
It's a joyous, uplifting.
It's a joyous album.
It's familiar and it's warm.
You've always been here. It's out today. They are a supergroup. They're an actual bona fide supergroup, a modern day 2020 supergroup for us all. Still under lockdown. Get a load of this in your ears. Come on now.
Come on.
In my brain, ice cold water running through my veins. Got a bad taste in my mouth from bitter tears.